A very warm welcome and greetings of the day to you all, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Air Commodore Vijender Singh Sivaj, presenting before you various flight safety hazards associated with visual illusions. Like spatial disorientation, visual illusions also cause large number of serious accidents around the world. Aviation Safety India is highly concerned with your safety and is taking various proactive steps to create awareness among the operators and the pilots about the various hazards in aviation. This video presentation is part of our proactive initiatives to enhance safety of aviation operations in the country. Visual illusions occur when the pilot's eyes are deceived into making a faulty assessment of aircraft position or orientation in relation to the external environment. Visual illusions also occur when the conditions modify the pilot's perception of the environment relative to his or her expectations, possibly resulting in spatial disorientation or landing errors, that is, landing short or long. Similar to spatial disorientation, visual illusions result from the absence of visual references or the alteration of visual references which modify the pilot's perception of position in terms of height and distance and or intercept angle relative to the runway threshold. Now we'll discuss consequences of visual illusions. Visual illusions affect the pilot's situational awareness, particularly while on base lag and on the final approach. Visual illusions also affect the decision process of when and how rapidly to descend from the MDA/MDH. Visual illusions usually induce pilot's input that cause the aircraft to deviate from the vertical or horizontal flight path. Visual illusions are most critical when transitioning from IMC to VMC. Now we'll have a look at the factors which lead to visual illusions. First of all, airport environment, ground texture and features of airport light patterns such as brightly lighted parking lots or streets, black hole effect along the final approach flight path, uphill or downhill sloping terrain in the airport vicinity, runway environment, runway dimensions, runway slope, terrain drop off at the approach end of the runway, approach and runway lighting. Runway condition, weather condition, ceiling, visibility, obstruction to vision, autokinetic illusion, false horizon illusion, and time of the day and light conditions. Now let us discuss how the airport environment can lead to visual illusions. First, let's have a look at the black hole effect. Final approach during dark night with no stars or moonlight, with no lights before the runway, which is brightly lit, and city lights or rising terrain beyond the runway is known as black hole approach. Approach under these conditions may produce visual illusion of being too high on the glide path, thus leading to touching down short of the runway. Next, runway slope. A flat terrain with an upsloping runway will give an illusion of being high on approach, which can induce a correction of nose down and thus going below glide path. And a flat terrain with a downsloping runway will give an illusion of being low on approach, which can induce a correction of nose up and possibly stalling the aircraft. Now we'll have a look at the terrain slope. With an upsloping terrain and flat runway, pilots will get an illusion of being low on approach, inducing a correction of nose up attitude, resulting in a possible stall. With a down-sloping terrain and flat runway, pilots will get an illusion of being high on approach, inducing a correction of nose down and thus going below the glide path. The length and width of the runway affects the pilot's visual perception of the runway. A wide and short runway creates an impression of being too low. A narrow or long runway creates an impression of being too high. Then we have depth perception problems. If the pilots have been landing on a narrow runway and in between some time they make an approach on a wide runway, they may find it difficult to judge the correct height above the runway during final part of the approach and flare, which may lead to hard landing. Another depth perception problem: if the pilots have been landing on a wide runway and sometime make an approach on a narrow runway, they may flare too high and may get into hard landing and accident situation. Approach, runway, and touchdown zone lighting can affect depth perception depending on the intensity of the lights, daytime and nighttime conditions, and weather conditions. Bright runway lights create an impression of being closer to the runway. Low intensity lights create the impression of being farther away from the runway. And non-standard spacing of runway lights modifies the pilot's perception of distance to the runway and the glide path. During a visual approach or circling approach, if the runway lighting is partially visible while on base leg, the runway may appear further away or at a different angle. That is, intercept angle is perceived as smaller than actual. The runway approach aid conditions which may increase the crew's exposure to visual illusions are a glide slope that is unusable beyond a certain point because of the terrain or below a certain altitude because of water and offset localizer course. Ceiling and visibility also creates problems of visual illusions. Now the vertical, slant and horizontal visibility may be different. While flying in light rain, fog, haze, mist, smoke, dust, glare or darkness. This usually creates an illusion of being too high. When flying overhead on top of a shallow fog layer, the ground, airport and runway can be seen. But when entering the fog layer, forward visibility and slant visibility may be lost. Entering a fog layer also creates the perception of a pitch-up, which causes the pilot to respond with a nose-down correction that steepens the approach path. Flying in haze creates the impression that the runway is further away, inducing a tendency to shallow the glide path and land long. During the visual segment flown after transition from instrument references to visual references, in light or moderate rain, the runway may appear indistinct because of the rain halo effect, increasing the risk of misperception of the vertical and horizontal deviation. Heavy rain affects depth perception and distance perception. Rain on a windshield creates refraction effects that cause the pilots to believe that the aircraft oblique helicopter is too high, resulting in a nose-down correction and the aircraft oblique helicopter going below the desired flight path. In daylight conditions, rain diminishes the apparent intensity of the approach light system, resulting in the runway appearing to be further away. As a result of this illusion, the pilots tend to shallow the flight path, resulting in a long landing. In nighttime conditions, rain increases the apparent brilliance of the ALS, making the runway appear to be closer, inducing a pitch down input and the risk of landing short of the runway threshold. When breaking out at both ceiling minimums and visibility minimums, the slant visibility may not be sufficient for the crew to see the further bars of the WASI or PAPI, thus reducing the available visual clues for the visual segment in reduced visibility. In crosswind conditions, Runway lights and environment will appear at an angle to the aircraft heading, which may lead to the tendency to align the aircraft oblique helicopter with the runway center line. Now, runway surface condition also has bearing on visual illusions. A damp and wet runway reflects very little light. This can affect depth perception and cause the pilots to perceive that the aircraft is further away from the runway. This effect usually results in a late flare and hard landing. Now we'll talk about autokinetic illusion. Autokinetic illusion is caused by staring at a fixed single point light, such as a ground light or a star, in a totally dark and featureless background. This may give you a misperception that such a light is another aircraft on collision course with you. Now we will talk about false visual reference illusion. This illusion is caused by flying over a banked cloud or night flying or a featureless terrain with ground lights that are indistinguishable from a dark sky with stars. False visual reference illusion may cause the pilots to orientate the aircraft or the helicopter in relation to the false horizon. Let us now discuss how we can overcome the adverse effects of illusions. First of all, we should be aware about the hazards associated with visual illusions. The pilots should be knowledgeable and well trained to understand the factors that cause visual illusions and their adverse effects. Pilots need to be aware about the problems associated with the perception of height, oblique depth and distances, angles due to poor visibility, rain, crosswinds, upslope and downslope of runway and terrain, width and length of the runway. During the approach briefing, approach hazards should be assessed and discussed with reference to ceiling and visibility conditions, weather, winds and turbulence, rain, fog or smoke patches. Pilots should be aware of specific airport and runway hazards like obstructions, black hole effect, environment, and off-airport light patterns, etc. Knowledge about the runway approach and visual aids will help the pilots to make optimum use of them. It is essential for the pilot to be knowledgeable about the type of approach, letdown and navigate restrictions, such as a glide slope that is unusable beyond a specific point or below a specific altitude, type of approach lights, and availability of WASI or PAPI. Terrain awareness is of vital importance. During a visual approach, the pilot should be fully aware about the surrounding terrain features and man-made obstructions. At night, an unlighted hillside between a lighted area and the runway may prevent the pilots from correctly perceiving the rising terrain. At night, whenever a precision instrument approach is available, the pilots must prefer instrument approach to a visual approach to reduce the risk of accidents caused by visual illusions. If an ILS approach is available, pilots must fly the ILS approach and use WASI or PAPI for the visual portion of the approach. If an ILS approach is not available, a non-precision approach supported by a WASI or PAPI should be the preferred option. The pilots must resist the tendency to pitch down or to descend intentionally below the appropriate altitude during the visual segment of the approach. The pilots should also avoid pitching down toward the approach lights in an attempt to see the runway during a precision approach. Descending prematurely because of the incorrect perception of being too high should not be resorted to by the pilots. The pilot not flying must maintain instrument references including glide slope deviation during the visual portion of an ILS approach. Monitoring the WASI or PAPI whenever available provides additional visual references to resist the tendency to increase or decrease the rate of descent. On runways with an ALS sequenced flashing lights, pilots should be aware that two rows of the red lights are aligned with the touchdown zone lights. In order to prevent visual illusions and descending prematurely, the pilot should maintain an instrument scan till the touchdown. The correct glide path should be confirmed by cross-checking instrument indications and outside visual references. An ILS approach should be made if available during IMC conditions. WASI or PAPI should be used till the runway threshold if available. In conclusion, I would like to stress that the visual illusion and spatial disorientation are serious threat to the safety of the flight and have led to many fatal accidents. It is of paramount importance for the pilots to be aware about the factors, conditions, and environments which can lead to illusions. Pre-flight briefing must cover the weather conditions, terrain and obstructions, runway condition, airport environment, airport lighting, specific airport features which are conducive to black hole effect. During the flight, the pilots must trust and cross-refer the instruments. They should avoid jumping to conclusions. And before making any control inputs, must correlate with the instruments. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We are indeed grateful to all of you for your time and efforts to watch this video presentation. We are quite hopeful that after going through this video, you will be in a better position to fly safely and efficiently and avoid any accidents due to visual illusions. Please do share with your friends and colleagues so that they can also benefit from this video presentation. Remember, sharing is caring. Wishing you all the very best and many happy landings. Jai Hind.